From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Thursday, September 17th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
I rent $600 each month. I haven't started getting the payments yet for workman's comp.
This morning, more money is heading to those struggling to pay their rent. Working for you, we're looking at how the money is being funded and who is eligible. Farmers are worried about a planned solar farm in Shelby County. New at 6 o'clock, hear from commissioners on who will decide the future of this project.
From here, we're going to continue to fight for the children and the safety in the school.
2 Hendricks County administrators are off the job, what they're accused of doing and where the case goes from here. And some holiday shoppers are already busy buying gifts. New this morning, a warning before you buy gift cards so you don't waste your money. And here at 6 o'clock on this Thursday, we want to thank you for joining our team here on Good Morning Indiana. A beautiful Thursday morning. And Todd and Raphael, I saw one of our producers, who I won't name, says he turned the heat on last night at his house. Yeah, so Sanchez household, I'm guessing you guys haven't turned the heat on yet.
No, only because here at the official WRTV studio living room, these lights are like a heat lamp,
yeah.
like a piece of pizza at the Speedway gas station. So I turn up the AC, Todd Clausen. I don't turn it down.
You know, I turned my AC off and I just opened the windows, and it was absolutely beautiful throughout the overnight hours with letting the cooler air in. And we have some cool days ahead as far as the high temperatures go as well. Now, this morning temperatures are not as chilly as they have been a couple times this week. We're at 50 in Bloomington, 58 in Lafayette. Indy's at 57 degrees. And that's not bad for this time of year. That's pretty seasonable. Tomorrow morning, though, we are going to be running a lot cooler, and you'll notice that in the forecast coming up. A little more in the way of cloud cover to the north. That's why temperatures are running a little bit warmer in Lafayette and Peru compared to the clear skies down to the south. And those clouds are part of a cold front that's going to be coming through during the course of the day today. It's going to do two things. One, it's going to cool us down as we go into the coming days, but that cold front's actually going to help to push all that moisture from what's left of Sally off towards the east. We actually could use a little bit of that rainfall, just simply not going to happen here in central Indiana. In fact, it's a dry forecast going forward in the coming days as well. Our high today is going to be shortly after the noon hour. Once that cold front goes through, you notice the temperatures cooling off already by 4 p.m. and then we're into the 60s as we work our way into the evening hours. As you wake up tomorrow morning, Lauren, most of the area probably going to be in the 40s. We'll talk more about that little chill coming up in just a few minutes.
May need to grab a little coat, Todd. Thank you. Let's take a look right now down on the south side where we are still monitoring that fire investigation as several semis here went up in flames near 465 and State Road 37 not impacting traffic at this hour, and there's still some smoke there coming from one of the cabs. Let's take a look at traffic though for your commute. It's traveling about up to speed all around the metro area. Our traffic camera here up in Fishers in Hamilton County shows that traffic's moving along smoothly both northbound and southbound on I-69. Of course, we'll continue to keep our eyes on your roads and let you know if there are any trouble spots to avoid. Raphael?
Lauren, and you this morning, people are expressing concerns with a proposed solar project in Shelby County. Yesterday, you heard from the people. This morning, you will hear from the politicians, the county commissioners who'll decide the future of this project. They're all ears about the upcoming harvest in Shelby County.
I couldn't believe if all these people got sick out here because we were trying to make a buck.
And the opposition to a possible solar power project.
These solar companies, have you ever even heard of them? As quickly as they've come, they can go.
These signs popping up while there's a quiet effort underway from the company known as S-Power to buy farmland to one day install solar panels.
There's other options out there besides taking away prime farmland in Shelby County.
Homeowners are mobilizing and taking their concerns to the Shelby County commissioners.
Our driveway ordinance for Shelby County is 6 pages, but our solar ordinance for utility company coming in here is 4.
This body of government will make the final decision on a current ordinance that some call weak for lacking details, especially on the enforcement of environmental, safety, and health rules.
I have a personal preference that I don't want them, but I'm going to respect I'm not going to come on your farm, on your property, and tell you what you can or can't do. It's allowable use, that can be done if you meet all the stipulations and guidelines.
And I think that to review this ordinance and to make some changes in it would be very beneficial for our community and the residents I support.
Commissioner Nye walked us through the current ordinance, which lists all the federal agencies and groups that would set the standards for any solar project.
Do you want more of that to be just spelled out so that it's clearer to you and the people hear exactly what those standards are?
Anything that can spell out anything clear is good.
Commissioners are not set to take any final action until receiving recommendations from the Planning Commission and hearing input from others. S-Power, the commissioners say, has yet to file any formal paperwork or permit with the county.
Do you want them to come before you to say, hey,
sure,
give us a presentation, tell us who you are, what do you want, what's in the product, so that we can move on? Because it just seems to me having a mysterious thing out there makes it much difficult.
That would be helpful, but instead of, they have different names, you go by a corporation today and a different corporation tomorrow.
Come on out, right? Come out of the woodwork. Yeah. All right, gentlemen, I thank you for your time. I appreciate
I'd like to see them, get the CEO or the COO, whoever, somebody's in charge to let us know something.
Sure.
And be able to hold them responsible for whatever they tell us.
We'll keep following this story. The commissioners have rejected a recent call for a 6-month moratorium to study the issue. Now, all eyes, Lauren, will turn to the Planning Commission in Shelby County, which will be reviewing the current rules. I look forward to attending their meetings, which begin next week, to see this process at work. Lauren?
Raphael, keep us updated on that. The time right now is 6:07. It's a multi-million-dollar lifeline of people who are struggling just to keep a roof over their head during this pandemic. WRTV's own Kelsey Anderson is joining us live with the extra dollars now being made available to help you. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So those extra dollars is actually $76 million that are now going to be available to help Marion County residents, renters, and business owners. And all of that happening because the City County Council held a special meeting last night approving that final round of the CARES Act federal funding. So it extends many of the programs that have been helping residents, including $7.5 million for Marion County's renters. We spoke to Bonnie Matula, an Indy resident who says this couldn't have come at a better time. She's a bartender, and after the pandemic and a dog attack, she hasn't been able to get back to work.
Basically, it was just like getting by with the unemployment because, I made more than that. I'm a bartender, so I made like relatively good money.
So if you are looking for assistance from the CARES Act, head to indyrent.org, and that's where you can apply for the rental assistance program. Now, Marion County homeowners are also going to get some help. The funding includes $7 million for foreclosure prevention and mortgage refinancing. Other major investments from the relief package include $7.5 million for small business grants in the hospitality industry. That includes bars, restaurants, and entertainment venues. More than $5 million will pay for homeless services, and more than $2 million will go toward food bank support. Now, a statewide rental assistance program stopped accepting applications at the end of August, and there's no word yet if that will be extended or if more relief for statewide will be coming. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
This morning, some strong words from a central Indiana mother after a school board votes to terminate 2 high school administrators.
From here, we're going to continue to fight for the children and the safety in the school.
The Northwest Hendricks School Board voted 4-0 in favor of firing Nathan and Stacy Begley. The Begleys worked as the athletic director and dean of students at Tri-West High School. The pair is accused of failing to report sexual misconduct allegations involving a teacher and a student. That student is Stacy Lewis's daughter.
I'm thankful that we finally have the decision to terminate Stacy Begley, the Dean of Students, and Nathan Begley, the Athletic Director from Northwest Hendricks County. It's very disappointing, though, that it has taken over a year, and them being on a paid leave and receiving a wage increase when no new information has been found. These 2 were just charged by the Hendricks County Prosecutor's Office, and it's unfortunate that our school board president spent his time playing golf with them rather than addressing it and taking care of the students.
The Begleys are charged with failure to make a report, charges they call unfounded. WRTV Investigates Kara Kenny has been exposing and following the Tri-West developments now for more than a year. The Begleys have been on paid administrative leave since February, when the Department of Education filed a complaint against their teaching licenses. The district has not responded to our request asking how much compensation the Begleys have received while on paid leave.
The time right now is 6:10 this morning. What's left of Hurricane Sally continues to move across the southeast, but the cleanup along the Florida and Alabama Gulf Coast is just getting started. Numerous water rescues, power outages, and widespread flooding have been reported there. One family was even forced to take refuge in a tree. The storm also significantly damaged newly built section of Pensacola's 3-mile bridge. In Alabama, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach leaders are closing their towns to tourists for the next 10 days.
So listen up, Red Cross officials say the need for volunteers right now at this very moment is at a level not seen since World War I. Wildfires, hurricanes, and the pandemic are some of the reasons why. Many former volunteers are not able to help right now because of health concerns. Red Cross volunteers help deliver supplies and support emergency shelters. CEO Chad Priest says they provide something much more important than that.
They provide hope, and you can't underestimate the power of reaching a hand out to someone in your community and just letting them know you're there. It's the most important thing we can do for each other in crisis.
So keep this in mind. Anyone 18 and older can sign up and volunteer with the Red Cross. Training can be done at your own pace. For more information, download the WRTV app right now. Lauren?
Rafael, the coronavirus pandemic could put older poll workers at risk on Election Day. Still ahead this morning, the organization connecting teens to the democratic process, even though they're too young to vote. Todd.
And it's pretty quiet here across central Indiana once again this morning. Temperatures are sitting in the 50s, but a cold front is heading our way, and this cold front's going to change our weather pattern a little bit. It's going to move through during the afternoon hours. I'll let you know what impacts it's going to have on our forecast, not only for today, but as we head into this very fall-like weekend coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back. So the time is 6:15. This pandemic, Rafael, is driving older poll workers away this election, but we do know that there is a group working to help.
Our partners at Newsy introduce us to a group that's mobilizing young people to work the polls this November.
In a normal election year, more than half the people working the polls are over 61. But in an election year beset by a global pandemic, new recruitment efforts are focusing on teens.
I'm so frustrated looking at the state of our country, but I'm also frustrated knowing that I won't be able to vote in November. So I'm hoping that by being a poll worker, I can help some people vote, even though I myself cannot.
To combat potential staffing shortfalls, 19-year-old Kai Turomaki helped launch the Poll Hero project, focused on attracting high schoolers and college students to take the place of veteran poll workers, many who are at higher risk for COVID-19 complications.
I knew before going into this project that there was a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of, activist energy among young people right now. But participating in this project and working to recruit poll workers has really, really underlined that for me and just shown me the full extent of that.
Since its launch in late July, the nonpartisan group has recruited over 20,000 people to work the polls this November, most of them in their late teens.
There is no number that we will reach where we'll say, that's it, we can pack it up, we've done a good enough job, we have enough poll workers, because there's no number where we can be absolutely sure of that. We have to make sure that every polling station in the country has the people they need to be run.
Some states allowed those as young as 16 to work the polls. Those interested can sign up on Poll Hero's website. The group then helps volunteers figure out if they're eligible and guides them through the process of applying to their local election board. For those not yet old enough to vote, working the polls may feel like a way to participate in the democratic process, even without casting a ballot.
People are really, really fired up to do everything they can to participate in the election. And even there's a lot of people who can't vote yet, 16, 17-year-olds who in their states might be eligible to work the polls. And even they are really, really enthusiastic to work the polls. In fact, even more so in some cases because they can't vote yet. So that's their sole way to engage with the democratic process.
Staffing the polls has been a long-time challenge. Think 12-hour days, minimal pay, lots of responsibility. It's become even harder amid the pandemic, with many older volunteers opting to stay at home. And though a record number of Americans are expected to vote by mail this November, every state will still allow voters to cast their ballot in person if they choose, with election officials still looking for help for this November. Shira Tarlow, Newsy, Washington.
All right, as you walk out the door here this morning in central Indiana, you're walking out to quiet conditions once again. Temperatures right now not quite as cool as they have been the past few mornings, which is good news, but I think you still need a light jacket. Here's how your day breaks down. Partly cloudy skies here this morning, and then as we get into the mid-afternoon hours, a front's going to come through. It's a cold front. I don't think we go completely overcast, but there's definitely a period here throughout the day where there's a little more clouds than clear skies. And then once that cold front moves through this evening, temperatures will start to cool off under a partly cloudy sky, and as that front comes through, just a real small chance of an isolated sprinkle or two. 50s and 60s across the map here. 61 in Peru, 59 in Martinsville, 50 in Bloomington. So temperatures are kind of all over the board this morning, and it just has to do with who's seeing some clouds and who has the clear skies. But the cold front is near Chicago, and that's going to start to make its way into our area. And you notice the temperature difference where the clouds are in place right now in Chicago. 65 compared to our 57 here in Indy, but it's 46 in Minneapolis. This is the air mass that's going to slide here into central Indiana and really much of the Midwest for that matter over the course of the next couple days. So we're definitely going to be trending cooler than what we've seen so far this week. Now for this morning, we'll hold pretty steady right around that 55-degree number throughout the morning hours until the sun gets higher above the horizon. Then you notice the big jump. We warm pretty quickly again this morning. It's about 70 degrees by 11 a.m. And then we should be in the mid-70s by the time we get to the afternoon hours in most locations. As far as this front, though, it's going to push Sally or the remnants of Sally off to our east. We really could have used some of that rainfall, just not going to happen here across the area. As this front comes through, it reaches northern locations a little bit sooner. That's why your temperatures are a little bit cooler today. 68 in Logansport as well as Frankfort compared to portions of central Indiana in the middle half of the state here. You notice 70 in Noblesville, 78 in Martinsville, where the front takes most of the day to get to. Highs will be in the 80s right around Bloomington as well as Seymour. Overnight tonight with the clear skies, tomorrow morning 49 degrees with a bit of a breeze, so it's going to make it feel even cooler than that. So you definitely need to have the light jacket handy throughout tomorrow morning. And then really throughout the day, even with a lot of sunshine, highs tomorrow are going to struggle to get to that 70-degree mark. So it's a cool Friday for us. Saturday morning we start at 44 degrees, so it's even cooler to start your weekend. Saturday up to 70 in the afternoon, 71 on Sunday, then back to 80 by Wednesday. But there's several mornings in a row here, Lauren, where low temperatures are going to be in the mid-40s.
Wow. All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic for your commute this morning. This is over to our west at I-70 near Ronald Reagan Parkway and Ameriplex Parkways here near the airport. You can see traffic there moving eastbound and westbound and on Ronald Reagan traveling up to speed this morning. We do have those orange barrels out there, but it looks like for the most part those are all pulled off into the shoulders, not restricting any lanes at this time. We'll continue to keep our eyes on this spot and all over the metro area as you're heading to work this Thursday morning. Raphael?
So, Lauren, let's talk about health right now. People suffering from PTSD could be twice as likely to get dementia later in life. Now, a new study, it focuses on the stress that PTSD puts on the brain. Doctors, they reviewed information of nearly 17 million people who suffered PTSD from either abuse, accidents, even the coronavirus. Researchers say it shows that PTSD has long-term consequences, but it's still undiagnosed and undertreated. The VA says that 7 of every 100 people will experience PTSD sometime in their life. Now, Lauren, I know that you are done almost with your Christmas shopping, so keep this in mind. On your list, do you include some gift cards as well? Coming up, the warning you need to hear so you don't waste your money on this Thursday.
Welcome back. The time right now is 6:25. Raphael, it is time to talk about what's trending at 6.
And so, Lauren, when we talk about chocolate and candy, you know, whatever the label says, in my mind, it says no calories, no fat.
Okay,
so I want to take you to this latest product. So I want you to think about that when you see this latest thing. Hershey's is releasing at least 9 different holiday options for popular brands. One is a new flavor of Hershey's Kisses. It's called the Sugar Cookie Kiss. Again, in my mind, no calories. There will also be 2 new interactive candy bars. The new Reese's, the Kit Kat, and the Icebreaker products will also be available. The treats should hit store shelves nationwide next month. Enjoy your candy.
Interactive chocolate bars, what does that mean? They're all interactive if you eat them, I guess. That's pretty cool. So, a New Jersey couple, Raphael, had quite a tip for their regular waitress. Keys and a title to a car. Very nice of them. Lisa and Jason here have had this woman, Lisa Millette, as their waitress at Empire Diner for 2 years now. Millette, she got laid off for 3 months during the pandemic, and then she told the couple that her car broke down. And so that's when the pair decided to give her their 2006 Nissan Altima, which was going unused. Yeah, Millette calls her friends a blessing. That's awesome.
There are good people everywhere doing good things. And Lauren, you remember this guy. A big shout out to Blake Kroll. He's the Greenfield police officer. He's our hometown hero on this Thursday. Officer Kroll, as you may recall, he recently pulled a woman trapped in a vehicle before parts of that engine exploded. We saw that body cam earlier this week. A big thanks to him and to all of those that are doing their personal best every day in central Indiana and across the country. Now time to check your forecast with the one and only Todd Clausen. Good morning, TK.
Hey, Raphael, good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. We're kicking your morning off here with quiet conditions, partly cloudy skies and temperatures in the 50s. But you notice the temperature spread today as far as high temperatures go. Cooler to the north where your highs are probably only right around 70 degrees, but Bloomington, Columbus, you'll get to right around 80 degrees. And the reason is there is going to be a cold front moving through from north to south during the course of the day today. So it reaches northern locations first, then eventually southern locations. And since it takes a little longer to get to Bloomington and Columbus, and that's why your temperatures today are going to be running warmer. Now, once that front goes through, it's a pretty cool stretch of weather for Friday and Saturday, where temperatures will be struggling to get to 70 degrees. Both mornings feature lows in the 40s, and then a slight warming trend as we get back closer to that average high of 77 degrees by early next week. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you. Well, believe it or not, the holidays, they are right around the corner, and so you may have already started your holiday shopping. Working for you, though, John Matarese explains why you want to be careful buying gift cards so you don't waste your money.
This is the time of year we start thinking about holiday shopping and grabbing gifts when we're out. But a caution if you're planning to buy any gift cards this year. Everyone loves receiving a gift card during the holidays until that store goes out of business in January, leaving you with a worthless piece of plastic. The savings site RetailMeNot.com is warning shoppers this year to be careful buying gift cards to struggling retailers. That means any store that's closing a lot of its locations. Just look around you. Steinmart's closing almost all of its stores. New York & Company running its final closing sale. And Pier 1 is now gone for good. Hope you don't have a gift card to them. In most cases, when a store files bankruptcy and liquidates, gift cards become absolutely worthless. Retail Me Not says if you're not sure, stick with those major retailers who you know will still be around in 10 years. As always, don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday morning, this is your 6:30 news feed. We continue to follow a developing story from the south side of Indianapolis. Several semi-trucks on fire at a trucking company. Here's a live look at the scene on Harding Court. That's near I-465 and Harding Street there on the south side. You can see what's left behind of that fire. Of course, we're still working to learn more details about the fires and the extent of that damage.
Indianapolis firefighters say that a string of fires on the city's west side may have been intentionally set. Crews were first called out to a house fire here on Eugene Street. This is near 30th and MLK around 10:30 last night. 2 houses down from that, another home also on fire with heavy smoke. And then a third fire was reported about 2 miles away at 38th and Kenwood Avenue. Thankfully, no one was hurt at any of these homes. All of the fires, though, have been ruled arsons.
New overnight, one person dead, another hospitalized after a shooting on the west side of Indianapolis. Police say it happened around 1:30 this morning near North High School Road and West 30th Street. A woman died at the scene. A man with gunshot wounds was taken to the hospital, we are told in critical condition.
And the federal government is providing millions of dollars for improvements to Interstate 70 east of Indianapolis and to Rockville Road here in Avon. The U.S. Department of Transportation awarded more than $22 million for a project that will widen I-70 between Mount Comfort Road and State Road 9 in Greenfield. Also, the federal grant of $5 million will add a travel lane to each direction in the stretch of Rockville Road. It will also replace the left turn lane with a raised median to improve traffic flow there. But first, I want to thank you for joining our team here on this Thursday morning. I'm Lauren Casey, and my friends Todd Clausen and Rafael Sanchez joining me this morning. Good morning to you, Rafael.
Lauren, good morning to you. I'm going to declare this Todd Clausen Day because look, 4 days of amazing temperatures. I'm not the mayor of any city, but if I were, Todd, you would get the key to all 92 counties because this has been an exceptional week.
You know, it has. Temperatures have been running at or just above normal. We've had the sunshine in the forecast each and every day, the low humidity. And today's not a bad day, but if you had to pick one day that's probably going to be a lot different than the other ones, it would be today. And that's simply just due to a little more in the way of cloud cover, and that's because a front's moving through. Now, this morning it's clear in Bloomington and Columbus still. So 46 in Columbus, 50 in Bloomington. To the north, there's some cloud cover around, so 58 in Lafayette. 61 is the current temperature right now in Peru, and you can see a little bit of that cloud cover to the north. This is just out ahead of the cold front that's going to be making its way through the area today. That front will come from northwest to southeast throughout the state. So the further south you are, the warmer you will be throughout the day today. I think in the metro area, we probably hit our high temperature as we work our way probably into about the noon hour or 1 p.m. and that's going to be right around 73 to 74 degrees. So we start off sunny, turn it partly to mostly cloudy, and then this evening, once that front goes through, we cool off really, really quickly. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. It is 6:32, and we want to get a look at your commute as you're heading out to work or school this morning. So I want to take you down to Johnson County, our friends here in the Whiteland area. This is a look in your community. I-65 here at the Whiteland Road exit. Now, if you look closely, the left side of your screen, that's the exit ramp, the off-ramp getting off southbound I-65 to get onto Whiteland Road. We do have two semis there pulled over on the exit ramp. Traffic is still getting by slowly past both of those. No word on what's going on here, but just be aware of that if you're traveling through the area. No other issues on 65 right now to slow down your commute. Rafael.
So, Lauren, more help is now being made available to help people seeking to avoid being evicted from their home in midst of this pandemic right here in Marion County.
And our own Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with some more information on the dollars behind that decision. Kelsey.
Hey, good morning. So $76 million will now be available to help Marion County residents and business owners. That approved last night in a special meeting by the City County Council for the third and final round of Federal CARES Act funding. So this extends the many of the programs that have been helping residents, including $7.5 million for Marion County's renters. If you do need rental assistance, head over to indyrent.org. But that money is also going to help homeowners, business owners, and more.
But it is our intent to deploy these grants to offset fixed expenses, such as utilities, rent, or mortgage payments, or hospitality businesses who are affected and impacted by ongoing public health orders.
Mayor Hogsett says more details on the grants will be announced in the coming weeks. Now, a statewide rental assistance program stopped accepting applications at the end of August, and there's no word if that will have more funding, if that will continue. But as of right now, it's just here in Marion County. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, the extra $300 in unemployment benefits will start being paid on Monday. The state says people who are eligible will receive a total 6 weeks worth of payments, those payments ranging from August the 1st through September the 5th. Now, this money is coming from the president's executive order from earlier this summer. The catch: to get that money, you must be receiving at least $100 in state unemployment benefits already every week. Now, while the president's order called for payments to last through December, that may not happen because the funding is limited. This program is being run by FEMA, the same agency that right now is responding to the hurricane on the Gulf Coast.
At 6:35, we want to get to the latest on COVID-19 and the outbreak across our state. The Indiana State Department of Health is now reporting 624 new cases of the virus. That brings the total to nearly 108,000 across the state. Marion County continues to have the most cases, with more than 20,000 total cases since the start of the pandemic. 12 new deaths were also confirmed. 3,247 total deaths have been reported since this pandemic began. Here at 6:35, President Trump is again challenging the country's top health officials. The president says that the head of the CDC was wrong when he told lawmakers that a COVID-19 vaccine won't be widely available until next year. ABC's Andrew Dinbert tells us that the president is also pushing back on the science behind wearing a mask.
This morning, President Trump contradicting CDC Director Robert Redfield as the coronavirus becomes more politicized ahead of the November elections. While testifying under oath, Redfield told lawmakers not to expect mass distribution of a vaccine to the general public until next spring.
If you're asking me when is it going to be generally available to the American public so we can begin to take advantage of vaccine to get back to our regular life, I think we're probably looking at late second quarter, third quarter, 2021.
Hours later, the president publicly refuting Redfield, claiming the head of the CDC is wrong, saying the government can start giving a vaccine as early as October.
I don't think when he said it, I believe he was confused.
During his testimony, Redfield also emphasized the importance of wearing a mask.
These face masks are the most important, powerful public health tool we have.
The president continuing his mixed messages, disputing Redfield on that subject as well.
Number one, it's not more effective by any means than a vaccine. If you ask him, he would probably say that he didn't understand the question.
And at the president's briefing last night, more confusion. The CDC sending a statement to ABC News on both masks and Redfield's comments on a vaccine timeline, saying that without a vaccine, the best defense we currently have against the virus are the important mitigation efforts of wearing a mask, washing your hands, and social distancing. Joe Biden, meanwhile, critical of the president, accusing Trump of playing politics with people's lives.
So let me be clear. I trust vaccines. I trust scientists, but I don't trust Donald Trump.
Now, one thing does appear to remain constant from the CDC. Robert Redfield reiterating that when there is a vaccine, it'll first be made available to high-risk groups, and most Americans will have to wait. Andrew Dinbert, ABC News, Washington.
So as of now, the mandate to wear a mask in Indiana, that will, of course, will run at least another week until next Friday, September the 25th. And for those people who are getting tired of wearing a mask and those other restrictions related to COVID-19, the governor has a message for you.
You mask up to stay open. If you care about Main Street, if you care about the economy, you only have to look around into some other places that are doing the opposite, closing down. And so I don't like them either, but it's just a fact of life right now. The virus hasn't changed. It is still uber infectious. It is still ravaging different parts of the country. The virus has not changed. It's we have. And the more that we do, and the more that we do the things that work, the better off we'll be.
There is some evidence that the mask mandate may be costing the governor some support in his re-election efforts. A recent poll found that an increase in support for the Libertarian candidate Donald Rainwater from traditional Republican voters. We should also point out that, however, Hoosiers appear to be divided on whether the mask mandate should be extended beyond next Friday. A survey from IndyPolitics.org and Change Research shows that residents are almost evenly split on whether the temporary rules on masks should continue. Lauren?
Well, Raphael, college football is coming back. Next, the big change of heart for the Big Ten and when the teams will hit the field. It is 6:39. Stick around. We'll see you on the other side of the break. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Football fans here in Indiana have something to look forward to this fall, including that traditional old Oaken Bucket game between IU and Purdue. Raphael, the Big Ten Conference plans to resume football next month.
And since you and I are both Franklin College graduates, we can cheer for both IU and Purdue and feel good about it, right?
Yeah.
So on Wednesday, the conference officially reversed course on last month's postponement of the season. A shortened football season will now begin the weekend of October the 23rd and 24th. There will be no ticket sales to the public, and anyone on the field for practices and games will be required to undergo daily antigen testing.
Really happy for our players and coaches and just everybody in the Big Ten. I know it's been a roller coaster and it's been, a lot of things have happened in these last few weeks, but I just feel like that we've got a great plan in place.
I do feel like that each team will have enough time to get ready, and I think we're all confident that that's going to happen. I want to applaud really our presidents and chancellors, in particular President Daniels, for having the courage and the wisdom to allow time to be presented more information.
Big Ten games will play an 8-season game this season, followed by the championship, which is going to be held right here on December the 19th at Lucas Oil Stadium.
And so
Meanwhile, the NCAA...
Meanwhile, Raphael, the NCAA says that the 2020-2021 men's and women's college basketball seasons can start November 25th. The Division I Council made that announcement Wednesday. The council also changed the maximum number of games to 24 or 25 games plus one multiple team event. The minimum number of games was reduced by 50%, dropping to 13. Women's teams, they can schedule 23 games plus one multiple team event or 25 games without a multiple team event. Full preseason practices can start on October 14th, and the NCAA is still planning for the tournament to go on as scheduled with 68 teams and 14 sites in March and April.
So, Lauren, I interrupted you slightly because I couldn't wait to tell you this story. You see, Peyton Manning is among 7 former Colts now nominated for the 2021 Pro Football Hall of Fame class. As you know, Manning, who won 2 Super Bowl titles in his career, one right here in Indianapolis, the other with the Denver Broncos, won an NFL record 5 Most Valuable Player awards. In addition to Manning, former Colts wide receiver Reggie Wayne, tight end Dallas Clark, center Jeff Saturday, he's a great guy, defensive back Bob Sanders, defensive end Cornelius Bennett, and punter Ron Stark were also nominated as modern-day era heroes. So we wish them all the very best of luck. Now let's go to our MVP on this Thursday. That, of course, is meteorologist Todd Clausen. Hey, TK.
Raphael, good morning. We're starting off with partly cloudy skies here this morning. So if you do have to head into work here this morning, no issues. Grab the sunglasses. More chance of sunshine here this morning, though, compared to this afternoon. We're going to build in some cloud cover today as a cold front comes through. Temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler as well as you head home from work at 69 degrees. Our high today actually occurs shortly after the noon hour. That's when the front will make its way through the area. As this front comes through, there's a small chance of a shower, but the bigger impact, the cooler temperatures in the days ahead. More on that coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Parts of Florida and Alabama right now are dealing with some life-threatening flooding and destruction as what was once Hurricane Sally is now continuing its move inland. Sally has weakened now to a tropical storm, but the Gulf Coast region still faces issues from the slow-moving storm's drenching rains and flooding. Roads in some parts have turned to rivers. Streets and parking lots in some areas have disappeared. The sides of buildings have been sheared off in some cases, and a massive section of the 3-mile bridge in Escambia County, Florida, is now missing. In areas where the storm is past, the threat is not over yet.
The flooding is bad. We had 30 inches of rain in Pensacola, 30 plus inches of rain, which is 4 months of rain in 4 hours.
The biggest thing that was catastrophic for us was how slow Hurricane Sally moved across our community. It was at an extremely slow pace, and it had very devastating consequences.
This is a deadly storm. At least one person is dead and one is missing in Alabama, and more than 540,000 homes and businesses are without electricity. Officials are asking everyone to stay at home and to stay off the roads as they are still evaluating the area and, of course, performing life-saving rescue missions. And, of course, Todd, some of us were hoping that Sally would bring some rain to central Indiana, but you were telling us that Sally will not make an appearance in our state.
No, we are going to miss out on everything. The rain, the clouds from that storm system, it is all staying down to our south. And as you mentioned, Raphael, we really could use some of that rainfall here in central Indiana. Right now, we are on pace for the driest September on record for Indianapolis. I know northern locations, you saw a little more in the way of rainfall over Labor Day weekend than Indianapolis and southern locations did. But here's the number at the airport in Indianapolis, 0.04 of an inch. We're over 1.5 inches below normal for the month. And again, we're on pace for the driest September on record. And looking forward, there's no real rain in this forecast, at least for the next 7 to maybe even 10 days. 57 degrees under a partly cloudy sky this morning. As you walk out the door, the winds are calm. As we go throughout the day, though, you'll notice those winds start to kick up as a cold front makes its way towards the area. Now, temperatures this morning range from 46 in Columbus to 61 degrees in Peru. So that's kind of a big temperature spread across central Indiana. Everywhere else, you kind of find yourselves in between 51 in Greencastle, 59 in Martinsville. And it all has to do with the sky cover. Where the skies are clear, temperatures are running a little bit cooler. Where the clouds are in place already, that's where temperatures are a little bit warmer. And you notice exactly where the cold front lies. 65 in Chicago, but only 46 degrees in Minneapolis. So 19 degrees cooler. And that air mass is going to be in place in central Indiana come this time tomorrow. So your Friday morning is going to get off to a really, really cool start. Well, warm this morning up into the 70s, and our high today is going to probably be right around 2 o'clock. So that's where I'm going to start you off here on this afternoon planner. So our highs are occurring a little bit earlier than normal, and then the temperatures are going to fall off as we work our way into the evening hours, with skies that'll be partly to mostly cloudy. The entire country is pretty quiet weather-wise. Here is what's left of Sally moving through Atlanta into the Carolinas. Again, we're just going to have this front that's going to drop south through the state. And as the front comes through, I wouldn't be shocked if maybe there's a sprinkle in northern locations, but it's probably not even enough to wet the ground. So it's really kind of a non-factor. You do not need to have the umbrella handy throughout the day today. But what that front will do is cool the temperatures off. 7:50 is sunset this evening, 65 degrees. Tomorrow morning, widespread 40s across the area. In fact, low to mid 40s to the north, 45 in Peru, 48 in Indianapolis. And then for the day tomorrow, it's your Friday, lots of sunshine. Temperatures, though, well below normal. We've been averaging at or above normal much of this week. Tomorrow, only about 68 degrees for your high temperature. And then look at the stretch of 40-degree morning lows all the way into the middle of next week. The good news is with sunshine each and every day, Lauren, temperatures will moderate up into the 70s for the most part. The exception is tomorrow.
All right, Todd, sounds good. Thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out there this morning, maybe to work or school. Taking you up to Boone County. Good morning to you. I-65 here. A little south of State Road 267 as you're heading through Whitestown and Zionsville. You shouldn't have any problems this morning. Everything's traveling up to speed, both northbound and southbound, as you can see. We'll continue to keep an eye out for any crashes or delays, and of course, we'll keep you updated.
So you may think having your groceries delivered to your home is a new thing. Think again. Coming up, it's time for Throwback Thursday at a Hoosier company that was 4 decades ahead of Amazon. Details. Thursday. And during the pandemic, of course, grocery home deliveries have been the thing to do. But here in central Indiana, Lauren, we've been doing it for decades.
Yes, so Lewis Ladd III launched Market Express back in 1979, and here's how it worked. You paid a one-time $25 membership fee or an annual fee of $8. You got a catalog with 4,000 grocery items. In January of 1980, Ladd told our consumer reporter Barbara Boyd that if you ordered before 2 p.m., you would have your groceries delivered by the next day.
The entire order is displayed on the terminal, and the terminal operator can view the order and make any corrections or adjustments that the customer might want. Then the order is printed out from the computer. All the orders are collected and placed into a dispatch rack, and from there, the packers prepare the orders. Merchandise is placed in the sacks, and then it goes to a holding area, and then it's loaded at a preset time onto the trucks and delivered.
Oh, Lewis Ladd, unfortunately, way ahead of his time. Market Express was ahead of its time, and it never became a household name. But he's probably sitting at home right now thinking, yeah, I thought of that idea a long time ago.
But the idea lives on. The idea lives on, and the good weather lives on, Todd Clausen.
You know, it's going to be a beautiful stretch of weather here, Raphael. Look at all that sunshine in our future. There's one little period here today where we deal with partly to mostly cloudy skies as the front comes through. It's a cold front, but that's what ushers in highs only in the 60s tomorrow, and then morning lows in the 40s through the weekend with highs right around 70, Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks, and thank you for joining us. We're back here in 25 minutes. We hope you have a great Thursday. Thanks for watching.